Hi everyone, we're going to sketch the graph of f of x, this polynomial. We're going to fill out some information first. Let's determine the degree. Since this is not in standard form, all we have to do is just add up these multiplicities here. So our degree is 3. Our end behavior we're going to get back to in just a minute, but just know that it's an odd number. 3 is odd. And also our lead coefficient is positive. That's what we basically need to know for that for now. And our y-intercept is when x is 0. So that's going to give us 1 times 3 times negative 3, which equals negative 9. So our y-intercept is 0, negative 9. And our zeros are when y is 0. So that would be negative 1 here, negative 3 here, and 3 here. So let's write our zeros as negative 1, 0, negative 3, 0, and 3, 0. They all have multiplicity of 1, this number here. That means they can cross the x-axis. Our maximum turning point is n minus 1. Our n is 3, so that's 3 minus 1 equals 2. The intervals where f of x is negative and f of x is positive. We'll do that after we graph. So let's go back to our end behavior here and talk about that. So we have an odd number and it's positive. So this is this little box area in here. And our degree was 3, so it resembles that graph comparison. All right, so we'll graph that. Now, our end behavior is where are we going to start and end? So graphing left to right, we're going to start in quadrant 3 and end in quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 is positive, positive. Quadrant 3 is negative, negative. So all this means is that as x grows larger and larger from 0, so does my y grow larger and larger from 0. So that gives you your positive, positive there. And that means we're in quadrant 1. As x gets smaller and smaller from 0, so does my y. It gets smaller and smaller. That's why we have negative, negative. If you look at it, you have positive, positive. That means quadrant 1. Negative, negative. That means quadrant 3. So we're going to start in quadrant 3 and end in quadrant 1. Let's graph some of these points. Our y-intercept was negative 9, so I'm going to put it right there. Our zeros were negative 1, negative 3, and for this last piece it was 3. And we also know we're starting in quadrant 3 and ending somewhere in quadrant 1. Our multiplicities are 1, so we can cross. Now what we're not doing in this video is doing the min and maximums. So you're just going to have to kind of just make something like that. If you want to plug in negative 2 and get that, you're welcome to do that. Now, so we can cross here, go to the y-intercept, come back up through 3, and that's it. There's your graph. And the last thing we need to do is find where our graph is positive. So this is y equals 0. Above y equals 0 is where y is greater than 0. And below is where y is less than 0. So where is our f of x, our graph above or positive? What's positive right through here? So you look at your x's and write it's from negative 3 to negative 1, and also here. And that's going to be 3 to infinity. All right? And where is it less than 0 or negative? So that's going to be this portion, which is negative infinity to -3. And also, this is below. So below the y equals 0 here. And that part is -1 to 3. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.